Good morning. How you doing today? Do you ever get weary? Do you ever get tired? Do you ever just get like weary to the bone? It can happen. It can happen to anybody. And I want to share something I picked up from this book. It's called Rest. It's by Marianne Howard, and the subtitle is Overcoming Spiritual Fatigue. So they have apps for all sorts of things. And for over 10 years now, I just randomly will say to people, there's an app for that. I don't know if there is or there isn't, but there likely is. And I just try to fit in, you know. It's just my thing. So if something's wrong, so I've been wearing a brace on my knee. People ask me, what's wrong with your knee? So I tell them, it's pretty obvious. You know, I've got a little extra fluid where I don't want it. And I'm going on a hiking trip fairly shortly, and I like to be able to play tennis. It's obvious what it is. But the most important part of you is invisible. It is. It's your soul. And I remember reading a book by John Ortberg on the soul, and I preached a series on it called Soul Detox. And I think people really appreciate it because we have a soul. I love Psalm 23 where it talks about He restores my soul. Your soul is your internal operating system, okay? Your iOS. It incorporates all of your thoughts, feelings, your pictures, everything that you see, everything that you speak. It doesn't weigh an ounce. At one time, there was a movie called 29 Grams, I think it was, because they thought that your soul weighed something. It doesn't, but it is you. And there are times that our souls are not healthy. Other people might not know it. People close to us might pick it up. But how do we get there? Well, we can get there by spiritual fatigue, where our souls just get depleted. The Apostle Peter said that there are certain things, desires that we have that wage war with our soul. God created our soul to be holy, to be like Him, to be with Him, to be connected with Him. But we got separated from that in the garden. Jesus restores us to that, but so we're saved, our soul's going to heaven, and that's awesome. But in the real time, right now, what's happening with our soul? Is it depleted or do you have energy? How do you recharge your soul? Well, you spend time with God. There's prayer, there's meditation. But we live in a world that's often too busy for that. Now, if you're a taker, you know, are you a giver or a taker? And most people would say they're a giver, and probably we're some combination thereof. But I think that the author here does a really good example with a mother bird. And I remember at our old place, we had this nest it was a robin's nest, and I got some really pretty cool images of these baby robins with their little beaks out there. And what are they? They're just waiting for mama to come back with worms for them, okay? So think about it. Think about what mama does. She goes out and she finds the worms. Does she eat first? No, she doesn't eat first. She makes sure that her kids, her little baby robins, are fed. And then maybe after she's done that and she's exhausted, she goes and she finds something for herself. But that's not going to work forever. Now she has to teach them how they can go and get food, how they can find the worms, how they can listen or feel the worms in the ground, which is all pretty crazy. She's got to go through that whole process, which will leave her even more tired. It's more work to teach someone else how to eat. So spiritually, if you're trying to do that, you're trying to help other people to help themselves, it's even more exhausting than that. What do they say on an airplane? The first thing that you should do in case of an emergency is not put the mask over your children's face or whatever, but put it over your own, because without that, you're not going to be good for anybody else. Today, God wants you to rest. He wants you to feed other people. He wants you to do all those things, but some of you are burned out. And that's because you haven't learned to take care of your own soul. You haven't learned to have a day of Sabbath rest. You need to do that. You need to take care of your own soul. Bring it to Jesus so He can restore it, recharge it, give you what you need, and then you will have plenty to share with others. God bless you. Have a great day.